Hey guys, how you doing? It's Henry at Mowers and Blowers. I'm actually not overwhelmed anymore. I actually have nothing left to fix. Is that unbelievable, man? The only thing that I have that's bothering me, has been bothering me for like the longest time, right, is that damn green Craftsman self-propelled lawnmower that I got for free. I've done just about everything to this damn thing, right? And it's just hard to start. It just doesn't start well, no matter what I've done. I got this mower from Pete Lombardi, like, seems like a year ago, alright? I spent 15 bucks on a carburetor and this prime choke assembly with the cover, and also 11 bucks for the cover for the belt pulley cover. So I'm in this stupid thing for like 25 bucks, you know? And, you know, I repainted it and everything. It's got Honda wheels on it, but it just doesn't start well. I've checked the valves. I don't think it has any gas in it, but you know, you gotta prime it every time for it to start. Hopefully it'll have a little bit of fuel in there. That actually started better than I thought. I'm gonna go and just look at it over again, because while it does start within 5 or 10 pulls, right, it almost never starts without priming it again, you know. So I remember my friend Robert Nighthawk told me that with these carburetor assemblies, right, that gasket got to be just perfect. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So I might check that. But then again, there was also a thought about, well, what if the spark plug was no good? I never replaced the spark plug. But then once it starts, I mean, it sounds fine, you know, once it started, you know. So I will check the spark on the spark plug, right? And then there was an issue of maybe the magneto was on its way out and the spark was intermittent, you know. So maybe we should check the spark, the magneto, and the carburetor seal gasket, just so that there's no air or anything like that that would probably cause a bad start, you know. But I mean, it runs good once it started, you know. It just doesn't start well, you know. We'll just start off by putting in some more gas, which I just did. And it just ran a little bit, right? So I should be able to start it. side. I gotta tell you something, man. It's never started that well before. Honestly. That's crazy talk. Son of a bitch, I'm gonna try it again. You see what I'm saying? I'm absolutely dumbfounded now. I guess it's okay. Maybe with time, right? The gas in there, it was bad gas. Maybe it had some water, it dried up during the time that I didn't use it. I just put fresh gas in here and it seems to start okay. I don't know, sometimes that stuff just happens, you know? I guess I'm going to list this for sale and hope I get rid of it cheap, you know what I mean? Anyway, in my last episode, I had a trivia question about this rag that I use. What is this? You know what I'm saying? Kind of just a fun trivia thing, just to see how many people were around in the 1980s, you know, the mid-80s, and the trendy clothes that you would wear back then. This is actually was a collector's item before I, you know, cut it all up. Anyway, only one of you guys took a guess. You said it was a Philadelphia Eagles or a New York Jets jersey or something. This, guys, is one of those rugby shirts from Benetton. United Colors of Benetton. They had the purple, the green, the blue, and all that. Anyway, I just looked online. It's like $250. That is if somebody's going to pay $250, but it's listed for $250. Anyway, that's what it was. Just some fun trivia for those guys that are in their 50s like me. You know, I'm going to start it right now again. It's the C. Well, there it is. So you guys can maybe help me try to figure out what's wrong with that. I mean, it seems like maybe the gas just isn't strong enough, or the spark isn't good enough to start, or it's got to be a carburetor problem, right? But, you know, that just bothers me a lot. And I would like it to just start up on the first pull, which theoretically, why shouldn't it? You know, as long as you got a good carburetor on there, right? But maybe I should try some type of fuel additive and see. You know what? I gave STA-BIL Start Your Engines 3 shots. I gave Mechanic in a Bottle 2 shots. I still have 2 ounces of mechanic in a bottle left. Revitalizes stale fuel, cleans carb, no removal, right? Fixes poor, non-running engines. I'm going to pour this in here. This will be my 3rd chance for mechanic in a bottle to impress. The other 2 times, fail. That's potent. I only poured like, I don't know, less than a quarter tank of gas in there. So put 2 ounces in here. Let this percolate for a bit, you know, and see what happens. In the meantime, I'm just going to humor myself and take the spark plug out and see its condition. So my camera stopped because it was in the sun for 5 minutes and it says it's too hot. It's not even 60, 70 degrees. Ridiculous. And I took the spark plug out and it looks good. I know you probably can't see this now because I'm inside in the shade so that the camera doesn't go kablooey. It's a good spark plug. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try the spark plug tester that my friend Jeff Phillips gave me. Here's the spark tester that Jeff Phillips gave me. How do I test this again? I'm a bit confused. This isn't going to work. I'm going to put the spark plug back in again. Never had one of these. Has 2 modes here. This way, where you see, look, the picture here is this is grounded, right? Where is this? Oh, this is just connected to the boot, all right? And it's connected to the ground, but the spark plug is in there. So I guess this is just testing the coil, right? And this is quick check engine running. So if I just, this is connected to the spark plug while it's in there when I have it now, and the other part's connected to the boot. Well, I mean, you know, if your engine can run, then why are you checking for spark? If it runs, then you know the spark is good, right? This one here is checking the coil, but you're not really checking the spark plug. You know what I mean? So, all right, I guess I'm going to check it with the engine running, and I'm going to put the camera so you can see the... All right, so I'm going to see if there's any spark. I'm going to start the engine. You know what? I can't have it here. You know why? Because I have a piece of plywood there. It'll suck it up and it'll be a mess. Okay, I've got no obstructions. I'm just going to record because I can't see it. Did you guys see any spark? Let's try to start this. It's not starting. I guess I'll have to look. Oh, can't see shit. I'll have to look at the video and see. Well, I just looked at the videotape and I didn't see any spark whatsoever. So now I've got this hooked up the other way just to check the ignition coil. So this is attached to the engine bolt over there, and this is attached inside the ignition coil boot. So I'm just gonna crank it, not crank it, pull it, and see if you see any spark. Okay, you should have saw spark. I'm gonna look at the video again and see. So now I've got my other spark tester on here. Basically this kind, you just shove this part into the boot, and this part goes right onto the spark plug. You should be able to see a spark. This one from my friend Jeff Phillips doesn't seem to work at all. Unless I'm doing something wrong, but I read the instructions, you know. Anyway, so let's see if this one lights up. Holy cow. What would cause that? How about that, huh? That was cool. I guess I didn't have the spark plug threaded in right, so I got it now. Let's give it a try. But man, got that on tape, I think. Did you guys see anything? Alright, so we know that it has spark. Let's see if that mechanic in a bottle works, you know. It's been about 15-20 minutes. Now it should start anyway with prime, but let's just see if it runs better, you know. I hate to say this, but I think it runs worse. Remember before I put the mechanic in a bottle in there? I mean, when it started, it ran fine. But now that I got mechanic in a bottle, now it hesitates. It's incredible. Honestly, fellas, I think mechanic in a bottle sucks. I'm gonna go mow my lawn. Of course it won't start. I think it kind of hesitates, man. So as you saw, I mowed my lawn with it. It cuts pretty well. I just went to the dentist for the past hour. I can't even move the left side of my mouth. Anyway, I had a cavity. I should be done for 6 years now. No, I have to go back. 6 months. Checkup. Anyway, so you know what? I'm going to try to start it again. The mechanic in the bottle has been percolating in there for like an hour and a half. Let's see if it starts. So as you can see, it does eventually start, but it does take a bunch of pulls, right? And as you can see also, when I pour the mechanic in a bottle in there, right, it now hesitates when it didn't before. So I'm going to drain everything out of that tank, and I'm going to try some Seafoam. I've never tried Seafoam before, but we're going to try it anyway. But to have a fair test, I want to drain everything out of that gas tank and put Seafoam in so that mechanic in the bottle is not in here. So I've got a couple of little small dishes here, and this actually has a fuel filter in it. Technically, with this lawnmower, you really don't need one, but I guess it's better that you do have one. So there isn't a whole lot of fuel left in here. Enough. Hope this is not going to overflow. Just stop it for a second. Looks clean. It doesn't have any water in it that I could see. There's actually quite a bit of fuel left in there, even though it doesn't look like it. And that's almost it, see? Trickling down to almost nothing. I'm going to take my air compressor and blow it out. I'm going to now run it until all the gas from the carburetor bowl is gone. So we're done-ski there. I'm just saving this old fuel in this canister. I use it to slosh out, clean out gas tanks and stuff, you know, instead of using water. I'm gonna get an air compressor and blow out that tank for sure. I've got this rubber glove on there. Got my air compressor with the pin. Stick the pin through the rubber glove so it isolates the tank. Put your hand over it. Now we're sure we got every bit of water, or if there was any water, but I didn't think there was any water because we drained the gas and there was no water in the thing. And we ran all the fuel out of the carburetor. I'm gonna put this fuel filter back, fuel line back. I'm gonna fill it up with some fresh gas. What we have here is from my friends over at Seafoam. My friend Brian sent me some samples. So this is Seafoam Auto Marine Fleet motor treatment. It's for gas and diesel engines to help clean injectors, clean carb jets, stabilize fuel, control moisture in fuels, quiet noisy lifters, clean deposits, add lubricity. That's what it is. It's tough to say. Add lubricity to fuel. Lube upper cylinders. De-ice and anti-gel. Using gas ethanol blends, diesel or biodiesel blends, right? Using the oil, using injector and induction cleaning machines. Internal engine use only. 2-cycle, 4-cycle, diesel, cars, trucks, boats, tractors, small engines. So the directions are 1 ounce per gallon. There's like maybe half a gallon in there, but I'm going to give this a good shot. So I'm going to put 1 full ounce in it. I'm going to eyeball it. It has a safety thing here, which is far easier to take off than that mechanic in the bottle, right? You just pull the seal and it breaks open just like that. So we're just going to eyeball about 1 ounce, okay? Yeah, that was more than enough, I think. That's definitely more than 1 ounce. And we're going to see how this thing runs now. I'm going to let the fuel move around in here. Let it fill the bowl. Prime it a little bit just to get it going. Give it a try. Let this run for a while. As you can see, it no longer hesitates and actually runs pretty smooth. I've been running it for about a half an hour. I'm going to see if it starts when I shut it off. Okay, I just shut it off. I'll try to restart it again. See? Try to restart it again. So all in all, we tried mechanic in a bottle. That definitely did not work. As a matter of fact, it seemed like it made it hesitate a lot more, you know. Then we drained all of that stuff in there and blew it all out. And then we tried 1 ounce of Seafoam in here. And while in the beginning it seemed like it hesitated as well, after running it for about half an hour mowing my lawn, it seems to, you know, run pretty smoothly. But honestly though, didn't it seem like it ran much smoother with just regular gas? Without any additives in there, it ran better and more smoother. But I think my next thing is I'm going to replace that carburetor with a new one. And then that's it. I'm not trying anything else. But look, this mower, it did the job, you know? It mowed my lawn, stayed running, self-propelled actually kind of works well, you know, and it cuts pretty well. It just has trouble starting. That's all. That's all it is, you know. I'm going to try it one more time. Feels like it kind of runs very rich, you know, like there's too much octane, you know, and not enough air, you know. That's what it feels like. But, you know, whatever, man. Works, you know what I'm saying? And it takes a few pulls, but it eventually does start, you know. Just for shits and giggles, I'm going to change the carburetor on this. Because I just need to know why. Why doesn't it run smooth and start well? That might be it, but I doubt it. Just want to know. very easy to remove these carburetors. The bridge ones, very easy. I have to get a clamp. Clamp out the fuel. Pull the fuel line off. Minimal drippage. Do a twist. And there it is. There be the carburetor. And I need to go and get some type of socket. 1-inch socket. Half-inch socket. Carburetor seems very clean, doesn't it? The fuel is very, very warm. It has some sediment in it, as you can see, but the carburetor bowl is very clean. And the fuel is very clean. There's no water in there. It's clear. But it has some sediment in it. I think I should change that fuel filter. What do you think? I'm going to do that. I'm going to change that fuel filter. Clean out that bowl. Here's a brand new fuel filter. This is courtesy of my friends at ProPartsDirect.net. I'm going to plug my finger here, let go of the clamp, clamp it before the filter here. Some's going to come out. Pull this out. Pull that out. Just to make sure. That's clear. So this is all clean. But I'm going to put another carburetor on here. New. I carry these in stock, believe it or not. This is a brand new Briggs & Stratton carburetor. Not the one with the auto choke, because there's two kinds. Comes with gaskets. And this is brand new. Okay, I'm going to compare it with this one. I'm just going to put this back. This one actually needs a new gasket. a bowl gasket, but you know what? It wasn't leaking, you know. If it's not leaking, it's okay. So we're going to compare these two to make sure. New on the left, old on the right, even though the old one is clean. There's some minor differences, but it's the same thing. See? This is all the way closed like that. Both holes are right in the same area. So I'm going to just put this on and see what happens. It's very easy. Put the throttle thing right there. Do with those. Connect the fuel line back on there. I'm inspecting this gasket here. There's a rip in it, small. Very minor, but something minor could be it. See? There's a rip in it. It's important that there's no rips because this is where the primer is. It has to be pretty much airtight, you know. These gaskets. You can only fit them. You can't put this on wrong because there's 3 holes and there's 3 tabs. It can only go in these 3 tabs. That's why there's 3 and not 4. Get it? And that doesn't fit. It's too wide apart. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Looks like it's homemade. Homemade one's no good. As long as this fits through, there it is. Because the hole's wrong. This hole has to be here. They reversed it. That's alright. All we need is this hole to be clear, and that's it. And the hole's right there. And this top one fits. See? So got a new gasket on there. That's not going to work. Found another used one. This one's good. matches up. Okay, we just changed the carburetor. Let's see if it starts. Some primage. That's not right. That's not tight. This bolt I found is not going to work. That hole wasn't drilled exactly right. Spray some carb cleaner in there just to help it start. This thing sucks. You want to see something? Well, first of all, that box is completely Dunsky. Boba got to the box. I'll let him play with the box. But this Chinese carb I got just disintegrated when I tightened the screws. And that's why it wasn't running right, because it was already cracked and busted. It's complete crap. So I put the original one back in there, and now it primes. And there you go. So, I don't know, what do we do? Well, we cleaned out the carburetor, I guess, and it runs okay. You know, not great. Doesn't hesitate anymore like it did before. So, didn't really notice too much of a difference with this. Mechanic in a bottle didn't do anything, and Seafoam seemed to have cleaned it up a little bit, but not a tremendous noticeable difference. Just wanted to try those two products again. And to get this thing running, it seems like it does start a little better now. But anyway, that's it for today. I guess I'll list it for sale for really cheap or something like that. It does work, you know what I mean? I can mow my lawn with it. I could use it as a spare for parts or something like that if I don't sell it. But anyway, see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers. Hey guys, support my channel. Buy a sticker. Got the bumper sticker too. Thanks for watching, guys. See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers. Follow my Instagram @MowersBlowers. Check out my website at mowersblowers.com.